Great morning, Rachel.
Well, I was deep in thought when we went on air there, so I apologize for my startled expression. We're here every Monday through Thursday from 7 to 7:30 a.m. Please join us on Saturdays for our flagship show, Summary Judgment, which has been airing since May 2nd, 2014, every Saturday. Well, it used to be a different time.
Almost every Saturday and almost every Monday through Thursday, unless there's something that comes up.
I don't think I said every Saturday, though. I said since May 2nd. So anyway, good morning. Today is 8/8/17.
Okay, so I have this special story to tell in an 8.5 minute, I think it's 6.5 minute clip, whatever.
Oh, good. It'll be an easy morning.
So here's what happens.
Okay.
We have been following an issue in East Haven at Planning and Zoning, or Zoning Board of Appeals. And the need arose to drive to East Haven yesterday to look at a series of committee minutes. So I drove to East Haven. I went into the town clerk's office and I asked the town clerk's office, could I see the minutes for the Code Enforcement Committee meeting? And do you have a book? Do you have a folder with the minutes in it? I'd like to see them. They didn't, like I had two heads. They didn't know what I was talking about. And so I showed them a copy that I had. I said, well, these were offered as an exhibit at a public hearing. And it says here, Code Enforcement Committee minutes. I said, so you must have minutes. Well, it turns out that they're prepared by a woman that was in the mayor's office who's now in finance, and they're kept in the mayor's office. So I go to the Mayor Maturo's office, and there's two girls working in the office. And I said, yes, I'd like to see the book or folder of minutes for the Code Enforcement Committee. And they looked at me like I had two heads. At the time, I didn't realize one's been there on the job for 1 week and one's been on the job for 2 weeks, so maybe they don't know. So they're trying to tell me that there isn't a folder. They've looked in the file. There isn't a folder. And I said, well, you got to have them. I said, they got to be here someplace. Could you just look a little harder? And a guy named Frank comes out of his office. I don't remember his last name. It ends in a vowel. You know, it's down in East Haven. It's an Italian, predominantly, I guess, Italian community. But so, and he's sitting there saying to me, there is no book, there is no folder. And I said, well, where do you keep the minutes of the committee? Well, it's not a committee, it's a staff meeting. I said, well, why does it say on the piece of paper that I've got, Code Enforcement Committee meeting? And he said, well, you know, that's just, it's a staff meeting. I said, well, it's subject to FOI. You know, it's created by government. You have to have your agenda published for the year. You have to, you know, whatever. I said, you know, I really need to look at these minutes, you know. And he goes, well, if you put your request in writing, I'll give it to the town attorney, and we have 5 days to respond. I said, no, you're wrong. That's not true. I said, I've driven down here to look at a book or a folder of minutes. What's the problem? And he goes, well, we don't have a book and we don't have a folder. And I said, well, what do you do with the minutes? And he goes, well, they're given to the people who attended. So I look at the people on the list who were there and I go, so the mayor has them and I'm in his office? And, you know, these do I need to go to these people's houses to get the minutes? And he goes, well, you know, you're going to have to talk to the town attorney. And I said, and where might his office be? He goes, well, it's down Main Street. I said, oh, he's in the law office with his father. Yeah, I said, oh, no. I said, I tried that once. I said, I went to the town attorney's office, and the father and I got into a pissing contest about whether or not I could walk into the office to get the public records at the office of the town attorney. I said, no, that didn't work. I said, look, there's an easy way and there's a hard way to do this. I said, I'd prefer to have it done the easy way, but if it's the hard way, I don't have a problem with that. Now, can you call the town attorney and get him on the phone? And he says, no, but I'll give you his number. I said, well, give me his number. So he gave me the town attorney's number. Now, I call the town attorney, and I go outside to the foyer between the outside door and the inside door, and I'm talking to the town attorney for East Haven. Now, the town attorney knows who I am, and he knows who you are over the issue of what they wanted to charge us extra duty time for a subpoenaed officer in the $200,000 Christmas Eve bond case. So I told him, I said, look, I'm going to assure you of something. I am not here to burn your town hall to the ground. I said, I am here to look at minutes of a committee meeting. I said, there's nothing exempt in those meetings, minutes, and I should be able to obtain them. And I said, if not, we're back to where we were 2 years ago over this whole situation. He goes, let me call you back in 5 minutes. I said, I'll be right outside the mayor's office. He calls back in 5 minutes. He goes, why don't you go into the mayor's office and they're going to show you the book. So I go in and one of the new girls takes the blue book, puts it up on the counter, and there are the minutes. And I couldn't resist. Excuse me, Frank, can I talk to you for a minute? He comes out of his office. He said, now let me get this straight. Did you know this book was here? Did you tell me it wasn't here? Did you tell me it didn't exist? If it didn't exist and it's not here, what's it doing on the counter in front of me and where did it come from? I said, I don't appreciate being lied to. But I guess East Haven has no problem telling little falsehoods. Because that's exactly why I was in East Haven. Because at a public hearing on August 3rd, the town attorney's father, another attorney who represents ZBA, made a statement on camera with 2 stenographers taking it, with people in the room that heard it. And what he said was there was a motion by the appellant's lawyer to have him recuse himself based on a conflict of interest. I'm not going to get into the reasons why. But I have the respondent's attorney. I have the zoning enforcement officer saying I have no objection. And then there's a presentation by the town attorney's father who makes this following type of statement. I'm going to paraphrase it. No, I don't have a conflict. I have not been involved in this issue since the day before the last meeting. Now, the last meeting was on July 13th.
Okay. Because
we were there. Well, the day before the last meeting would have been July 12th. But I had a set of minutes that shows that he was intricately involved on May 9th, long before July 12th. So I have the video of this lawyer lying to his clients at the table. So it's an 8.5.
And then after the 8.5-minute video, do you have the copy of the minutes from May? I do on my computer. So while the video is playing, I'll bring it up on my computer.
Bring it up on the computer.
And that way you'll watch the video and then you'll see what we're talking about, the involvement in May.
So we're going to be going to 7/18. So if master control, and I'm going to keep my mouth shut, just it's towards the end, and I set it up saying, listen to what you're going to hear here, and then I actually show a photograph of the section of the minutes where his name's there, and then I typed it, you know, put in red exactly what it says.
Oh, so we don't need the minutes.
Okay, just go ahead,
Perfect.
roll it.
Mr. Chairman, it's our position on behalf of the appellants that the law firm of Mr. Alfred Zullo and Mr. Joseph Zullo is involved in the matter of the litigation that has been commenced against the town of East Haven by my clients, to the point where Attorney Joseph Zullo issued a public statement in that regard, indicating, at least in my opinion, a position of advocacy for the town of East Haven. And you are being advised by his partner in this matter, and the Zoning Board of Appeals fulfills a uniquely independent role in the determination in cease and desist orders. You act effectively in a trial de novo position, and we believe that it's inappropriate for the lawyer who is defending and acting on behalf of the town of East Haven in litigation to be advising you in this matter, since the outcome in this matter may have a substantial impact on the outcome of that litigation. So I raised that by filing the memo that I filed. I outlined my correspondence to Attorney Zullo, his response, and the issues that I raised as a result of his response. Joseph Zullo referred to or characterized my clients as bullies in his public statement. Although it's our belief that we are taking every legal effort we're entitled to protect property rights, and that to offer such an opinion at the same time as offering advice to this board is not proper. Second, its other client, the town of East Haven, has a vested interest in the way this matter turns out. And it is very difficult, in fact I believe impossible, for a lawyer to serve two masters, which in this case Attorney Zullo are compelled to do. Attorney Zullo, when I raised this issue with him, indicated that he consulted with an attorney to get another opinion. I was quite surprised and disappointed in the fact that the attorney chose to consult with is the mayor's personal attorney. The attorney referenced in the email is the same attorney who has represented the mayor in various matters of litigation. And again, it's hard to believe that that's a person who has an unbiased view towards this matter. And finally, I respectfully disagree with Attorney Zullo's position that only the board has the right to raise the issue of a conflict. My client has a right to a fair and impartial hearing before the Zoning Board of Appeals, and I believe that right is compromised by the multiple representations of the Zullo and Zullo law firm. When Attorney Zullo offers counsel to the board, he must act only on behalf of the board. And yet, he sits with another client that has a vested interest in the outcome of not only this hearing, but the pending litigation. I referenced the rules of professional conduct in my memo, and I would quote this comment: even where there is no direct adverseness, a conflict of interest exists if there is a significant risk that a lawyer's ability to consider, recommend, or carry out an appropriate course of action for the client will be materially limited as a result of the lawyer's other responsibilities or interests. We as lawyers have an obligation to our clients to exercise independent professional judgment. And unfortunately, I believe that the independent professional judgment can't be rendered to this board by an attorney that has a conflict as Attorney Zullo does. I'm asking that the board consider this matter, and if necessary, ask Attorney Zullo to recuse himself from acting as counsel to the Zoning Board of Appeals in this matter, so that you can have counsel that has no other client that would be in conflict or have a significant interest in the outcome of the hearing. I had made Attorney Conway and Attorney Zullo aware of my intention to raise this issue. I provided them with a copy of the memo as soon as it was prepared. I advised Attorney Zullo on July 31st of my concerns, and I continue to have those concerns. Our interest is in a fair and impartial hearing before this board, and my concern is that legal advice rendered by someone who has a conflict of interest may taint that deliberation. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I did have an opportunity to read what was submitted. I don't agree with it. I have no objection. I have no objection to Attorney Zullo representing the board in this matter.
By way of additional clarification, I called Attorney Larry Scrignari because Attorney Joseph Zullo was on vacation, and Attorney Larry Scrignari was the town attorney prior to Joseph Zullo taking the town attorney. And I thought it was appropriate to ask him, based on his wealth of experience of having to hire outside counsel various times when he was representing the town at his table and recognizing conflicts. And he indicated that in this situation, he did not believe there was a conflict. After I sent my email to the applicant's counsel, I also sent it to the attorney for the grievance committee for the district of Hartford, who rendered the opinion that there was no conflict in this matter, sent me a couple of informal opinions on it, said if the matter came before him, he would not find a probable cause, so no reason why, based on the statements that were given to him, why I could not represent this counsel. This board knows that in the past, I've had numerous occasions, excuse myself, when clients came before this board, and in the past, we've had counsel appointed for this board in matters where I felt there was conflict. My firm does not represent any of the parties in the pending litigation. I do not represent any of the parties in this litigation. In fact, I had no involvement in the quarry file until the day before the last meeting. As far as I'm concerned,
Turn the mics up. Liar, liar, pants on fire. You got caught lying to your clients. Now, is that convincing evidence? I know, you wanted to fall out of the chair at the end. Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Well, you did a really good job setting it up, making it clear what happened, and then you just had to go there at the end, Ed. You just
now stop.
With
now
the
stop.
big giant red letters.
No, stop. Stop. I made that video after being in the mayor's office, being told that a book that existed didn't exist. I was lied to. So I feel that I should be able to go. For example, I can't show you. Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can do this. This is a copy.
Oh, that's good.
Of the book of minutes.
Well, it's a picture of the book.
I took a picture of it. This is a copy of the minute book that I was told did not exist. So I was going like this. Liar, liar, pants on fire. This is bullshit. And then I found out that the two females that work in the mayor's office, one's only been there for a week, the other one's only been there for 2 weeks. So they're brand new. So I said, look, I want to apologize. I said, if you've only been here for like a week or 2 weeks, you shouldn't really have to see somebody like me come in and go crazy over this lying that's going on. You know, I said, and then so the little female clerk or secretary, she goes, well, nobody has ever come in and asked like that before. Well, you only been here for 2 weeks. You know, and then I went like this. I said, well, and I leaned over the counter and I said, let me tell you something. I am a secret agent. I said, and I have usually got a habit of asking for things that other people have not asked for previously because we know that they exist. So this was a liar, liar, pants on fire situation. And I was kind of pissed because what I said to this guy, Frank, was, so let me get this straight. You told me that the book didn't exist and there's no folder, and you wanted me to put my request in writing. Then I would have had to leave here, drive all the way back to Central Connecticut to wait for a response. And then if you found the book that didn't exist, that did exist, I would have had to drive all the way back here and do this again.
I want to comment on the phenomenon of getting upset when you catch somebody red-handed like that, basically. And this is why I think you get upset. Because it all comes washing over you, all the times that people in government have said things to you that aren't true, but you can't prove it. And so your hands are tied, you feel powerless, and there's nothing you can do, basically.
Who's going to believe me?
Who's going to believe me? And then what I also think of when I run into situations like that is how many other people have come in here and been told that and walked away frustrated, dissatisfied, feeling powerless. So when you catch somebody in a lie like that and you can confront him with it, it's not all about that one circumstance. You have the weight of everybody that's gone before you and been rejected. You have the weight of all the times you've attempted to get information and haven't gotten it because you've been told things that you can't disprove. And so all that comes flooding out in this one situation.
40 years of having people do what this man was doing, and what yesterday became for me was an aha moment. In other words, no. Because I went back, when the town attorney, city attorney called me up, Joe Zullo, called me up and said, you can go in and you can look at the book. I mean, I don't think he realized that I was told it didn't exist. It was just show him the book. So when I went in and the book was in front of me, the girls put the women put the book up in front of me like, okay, so here's the book. And all the time they're putting it up, that guy Frank that lied to me is in his office around the corner. I can't see him, he can't see me, like he's just going to look at the book and go away. No, that ain't going to happen. Frank, come out here, I need to talk to you. And that's when I got into, I do not appreciate being lied to or having incorrect information given to me. I said, because I did, I asked him. And I wish I had recorded it. Because I said, did you know that this book was in this office when you told me that it wasn't? To me, that motherfucker would be mopping floors at Sears, Rachel, and you would be fired immediately. But I think that Mayor Maturo in East Haven has this guy, Frank, because he can lie to the public with a straight face and just fluff people off and get them out of the office, because that video is exactly why I was there. I wanted an official copy of the minutes from the mayor's office because I had a video that had that little tiny section in it where, and you got to understand something, Al Zullo used to be the town attorney. Now he's the assistant town attorney, and his son is the town attorney. And I think that East Haven has a problem with the way they conduct business with the public.
Oof.
I can only imagine the frustration of others. Now, we know that the town/city of East Haven is under a federal court oversight because of racial profiling in their police department. We know this. We know that they arrested somebody.
But we also know that we've talked about this whole concept of data collection to support, you know, allegations of racial profiling. And to be fair, we have identified some problems in the identification of certain towns as engaged in racial profiling.
Right.
So to be fair.
To be fair, I enjoyed making that video clip.
Well, like I
because
say,
it was frustration coming out saying, you know, for the people that think that I'm just off on some wild tangent someplace, there was a legitimate purpose for being in East Haven yesterday.
I always think of all the people that walk into a town hall like that and want to get information and are told no, you can't do it, and they just walk away. Those are the people I think of when I run into that situation. They are always in my mind.
Always.
Always. Because I've known people like that. I've been close to people like that who were brought up to be courteous, kind, never confront authority, and just listen to authority and don't make waves. And I understand people like that. And those are the people, I think, who need people like you, that when something like this happens, not only do you call them out, but you call them out strong, Ed. And with that, we're going to end today, Tuesday, August 8th, and we'll be back tomorrow, Wednesday. Everybody have a good day.
Liar, liar, pants up.